Good morning, everyone. Selamat datang and very warm welcome to all of you from around the world. It's a beautiful morning here at the International Youth Center in Kuala Lumpur, and it's wonderful to see all youth workers, leaders, and change makers from across the Commonwealth countries gathered today. So do feel free and interact with one another. We have our fellow speakers gathered here today, so you may get to know them as well. And to all the delegates, you may get to know each other. And we are waiting the arrival for all of our VIP for the day, and then we will begin the event. Have a good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of our distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise as we welcome our distinguished guests for today. Welcoming the distinguished guests for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm applause to everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Please be seated. Professor Louis Franceschi, Assistant Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Saida Amna Batul, Co-Chair, Commonwealth Youth Ministerial Task Force. Honorable Moifau Uji, Moifau Julius Akui Tafunai, Minister for Women, Community and Social Development Samoa. Honorable Jason Peter, Minister for Community Development, Youth and Religion, Papua New Guinea. Honorable Bakari Batji, Minister of Youth and Sports, The Gambia. Mr. Fikirini Jacobs, Katoy Kahindi, Kenya Principal Secretary, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Honorable Balam Bargahara Atenyi, Minister of State for Children and Youth Affairs, Uganda. Honorable Patrick Michelson Gibrilla, Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, Sierra Leone. Dr. Euralis Delaire, Head of Delegation and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports of St. Lucia. Rashad Ritchie, Head of Delegation and Assistant Director of Youth for the Bahamas. Yang Berhormat Senator Dr. Julfitri Johar, Conference Co-Chair and Co-Chair of the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations. Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, Co-Chair for 5th Global Youth Work Conference. Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Zambiri Sekawi, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, University Putra Malaysia. Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Haslinda Abdullah, Director, Institute for Social Science Studies, University Putra Malaysia. Distinguished guests, members of Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations, esteemed speakers, youth workers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a very good morning to you, and once again, welcome to the 5th Global Youth Work Conference 2025. I am Kavita Mahindran, and it's my absolute honor to be your host for this special gathering of hearts and minds. To begin this momentous occasion, I kindly invite everyone to rise for the national anthem of Malaysia. Thank you. Please be seated. To bless this gathering, let us now invite Amar Mukreis bin Zubair to lead us in the prayer recitation.
الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. O Allah, only to you do we extend our deepest gratitude for all the blessings, your mercy you have bestowed upon us. In conjunction with this gathering today, we humbly seek your guidance and assistance. Grant us peace and happiness, open our hearts, ease our chest, so that we may gain beneficial knowledge and wisdom for our religion, our people, and our nation. O Allah, most gracious, most merciful, we ask that you bless this 5th Global Youth Work Conference with the abundance of your mercy, and may all our efforts in making this program a success in receiving your blessings and guidance. Verily, we are gathered here today for your sake, to seek knowledge, to exchange ideas, to offer our thoughts, to strengthen our bonds of brotherhood, and to support one another towards fulfilling our responsibilities with excellence. O Allah, possessor of majesty and honor, we seek strength from you so that all of us present today may carry out every good deed, and we seek your protection from falling into wrongdoing. O Allah, grant us the richness of knowledge, adorn us with gentleness, honor us with piety, and beautify our lives with good health. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين.
Thank you, Amar Mukris. A gentle reminder that all our efforts are guided by grace and unity. Before we continue, the organizing committee wishes to extend heartfelt appreciation to all partners and supporters of this year's conference. This event is organized by the Commonwealth, University Putra Malaysia, and the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Workers Associations, co-hosted by Malaysian Youth Council, Sukarelawan Siswa or Student Volunteers, Commonwealth Youth Innovation Hub, Junior Chamber International Petaling Jaya, and Adab Youth Garage, supported by Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Youth and Sports Malaysia, Department of Youth and Sports Malaysia, World Assembly of Youth, and the Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum. Your unwavering collaboration and commitment make this gathering possible. Terima kasih from all of us. And now, we celebrate Malaysia's vibrant identity through culture and movement. Please enjoy this special cultural performance called Masri Kerincing, traditional Malay dance from Malaysia, and a type of Arab-style dance music. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you for the performance, lovely dancers. Let's give another round of applause to our young, talented dancers here. This year's conference carries profound meaning. It reminds us that even in a world driven by innovation and technology, our roots, culture, and community values remain the foundation of who we are. As the Malay saying goes, melentur bulu, biarlah dari rebungnya. To bend a bamboo, start when it is young. And that is why youth work matters. Because shaping the future begins with nurturing the present. Ladies and gentlemen, to officially begin our conference, we will now listen to our distinguished speakers and co-chairs. First, let's welcome Yang Berhormat Senator Dr. Julfitri Johar, conference co-chair and co-chair of the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations, for his welcome speech.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Thank you, Chairperson. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Professor Luis, Professor Zamri, Honorable Amna Batul, distinguished delegates, ministers, youth workers, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. It is both an honor and privilege to welcome all of you to Kuala Lumpur for the Global Youth Work Conference 2025. On behalf of the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Worker Association, KEWA, and organizer Secretariat, I would like to extend our warmest greeting to delegates from across the Commonwealth and beyond. Welcome to Malaysia, truly Asia. Today we are proud to host this important gathering at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, in collaboration with Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Worker Association, a key body under Commonwealth Secretariat, and Universiti Putra Malaysia, co-host from International Youth Centre, Malaysian Youth Council, Student Volunteers Foundation, Commonwealth Youth Hub, JCI Petaling Jaya, and Adab Youth Garage. This year also received support from Ministry of Higher Learning, Ministry of Youth and Sport, World Assembly of Youth represented by the President Dato' Idris Harun, Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum ICYF represented by Mr. Sinan. I would like to say thank you to all our co-organizers and supporters that we receive to make this program become reality, especially hard work coming from the director of the conference, Sister Nurul Huda Effendi. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's conference marks the 5th Global Assembly dedicated to celebrating and advancing the professionalism of youth work. We stand on the strong foundation laid by previous conferences, back then 2013, 2019 in Pretoria, South Africa, 2018 in Malta, 2023, the last conference held in United Kingdom, entitled The Power of Youth Work, Forging a Sustainable and Peaceful Common Future. This year, Malaysia is deeply honored to have been offered, in fact forced by the Commonwealth Secretariat, to privilege to host the 5th edition of this Global Youth Work Conference here in Kuala Lumpur. This occasion is made even more significant as Malaysia also assumed the chairmanship of ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, this year, marking a historic moment for our nation to further strengthen regional and Commonwealth cooperation in advancing youth development and youth work. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is a remarkable year for us. Malaysia assumed the ASEAN chairmanship coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the formal establishment of the ASEAN community. It is a milestone year in which ASEAN will adopt the ASEAN Community Vision 2045, a strategic blueprint that will guide the region direction for decades. As a chair, Malaysia is committed to driving inclusivity, unity, innovation, and sustainable development. Today's conference aligns strongly with the regional aspiration of ASEAN, particularly in championing youth development, youth empowerment, people-centered policies, and strengthen cooperation across borders. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conference, Youth Work in a Changing World, Sustaining Local Wisdom for Global Connectivity, is both timely and profound. We gather here to recognize that youth work is evolving rapidly in a post-normal society, complexity, chaos, and contradict, and also evolving rapidly in a world shaped by digital transformation, artificial intelligence, globalization, climate challenges, and social change. Local wisdom, that is our shared cultural heritage. Communities' values and life experiences remain a powerful guide for youth development. Global connectivity enable our young people to learn, to collaborate, and contribute across border like never before. As we begin with these two global youth work conference here at Kuala Lumpur, we will be enriched by a series of insightful lectures, plenary session, and the presentation of several research papers focusing on the several sub-themes such as politics, economies, environment, technologies, and law. I humbly request from our delegates minister here and senior official and decision maker, of course, to understand youth work and to support our association and our work in youth work. Of course, in developing and unleashing the potential of our young generation across Commonwealth. I sincerely hope that the discussion and exchanges throughout this conference will generate innovative and concrete ideas that can further strengthening the field of youth work. More importantly, I wish that the papers presented will not only be significant from theoretical standpoint, but also practical and implementable in real life setting, ultimately contributing to more effective and sustainable youth development policies across our nation. This year conference brings together youth worker, our ministers here, senior official, academia, researcher, policymakers, NGOs, and youth leader from Commonwealth Youth Council, local youth leader and international from across 56 Commonwealth countries for one purpose: to uplift and elevate the profession of youth work worldwide. Let us ensure that the discussion here translates into real transformation, both within our countries and of course across the Commonwealth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and privilege for me to join you at this 5th Global Youth Work Conference under the auspices of the Commonwealth. Allow me to seize the moment and take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation to our government Malaysia, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, for the trust and confidence placed in me through my appointment as a member of the Senate Parliament of Malaysia last August. I believe that this appointment is not merely a personal recognition, but a symbolic acknowledgement of the importance of youth development work in Malaysia and of course across Commonwealth. As a new appointed senator, I'm still learning and adopting to the culture of parliamentary affair, yet I am deeply committed to ensuring that youth issues and youth work remain at the heart of our national discourse and policy making. Ladies and gentlemen, as a part of my agenda during my term in office, I intend to work closely with key stakeholders to propose the establishments of all-party parliamentary group APPG on youth work in Malaysia as what we have in United Kingdom. So welcome, Brother Robin Lockhart and Brother our CEO from National Youth Agency. I believe Parliament could be a better place for youth work and democratic education for youth. So I want to champion this youth work in Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, on 10 October 2025, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Right Honourable Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, in tabling the National Budget 2026, announced that beginning 2026, the government will officially set the youth age range between 15 to 30 years in Malaysia. This policy decision reflects the government of Malaysia's strong commitment to enhancing youth participation and contribution toward national development in more targeted and effective manner. It is also aligned closely with the Commonwealth's shared vision of empowering young people as a partner in progress and peace building. Furthermore, recently, Parliament of Malaysia also just passed the Gig Workers Act that will give benefit for more than 1.2 million gig workers in this country. I had an opportunity to participate in a parliamentary debate of this bill at Dewan Negara, which is Upper House. With this new legislation, it provides a legal framework governing the relationship between gig workers, contracting entities, and platform providers, such as a ride-hailing, delivery, freelance, and online task-based performance. Ladies and gentlemen, the last part, the Commonwealth is committed to professionalize of youth work through its support for the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Worker Association, KWA, as an alliance with the aiming to elevating youth work in the eyes of policy and decision makers, promote and celebrate youth work, and professionalize the practice of youth work across the Commonwealth. We have working hardly with the board members of KWA. We have working to achieve this broad objective through grant, capacity building, National Youth Worker Association, Youth Work Forum, Labs, and Dialogue and Youth Worker Award. So we are going to have our Youth Worker Award tomorrow night. We are happy to report that over the last 2 years, based on our hard work in KWA, first one, National Youth Worker Association in member state has increased from 23 to 33. So we are targeting to have all Youth Worker Association in our member state under the Commonwealth, Professor Luis. Secondly, through the KWA, capacity building grant and with the support from a Commonwealth Youth Work Program, over 200 youth work practitioners were trained in 3 countries, i.e. in Ghana, Tanzania, and Malawi. Our membership mostly coming from Africa, with over 300 new youth workers registered as members of the Ghana Youth Worker Association. So by the fact, our coordinator of KWA coming from Ghana and our Secretary General also coming from Ghana. Yeah. Our Youth Work Forum, Labs and Dialogue continues to create a continuous learning opportunities for youth workers in the areas of mental health, ethic leadership, social justice, and youth-centric design. Number 4, the Global Youth Work Conference creates a platform for youth work practitioners, stakeholders to interact, engage, and celebrate the impact of youth work across the Commonwealth. Number 5, we have also been able to create a Commonwealth-wide celebration of youth work through the International Youth Work Week, an annual week-long celebration organized by the youth worker around the Commonwealth, celebrating everything related to youth work. Finally, to recognize the world and celebrate the impact of youth worker, KWA has brought back the Commonwealth Youth Worker Award starting this year, which is due to be held tomorrow night. In short, we do hope that the country's members will always support Youth Worker Association in your respective country. To CYC, Commonwealth Youth Council, come and work closely with us. Some of you might join politics after this, and some of you are invited to join KWA to pursue your activism in youth development and youth work. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, let us reaffirm our belief that youth work is not merely a program, not merely as a conference. It is a movement of empowerment, inclusion, and transformation. Together, let's us strengthening collaboration across Commonwealth nation to professionalize youth work, support the people who dedicate their life to it, and create of young leaders ready to serve humanity. To KWA, the Commonwealth Secretariats, our organizing partners, sponsors, and all delegates, thank you for your commitment to young people. With great honor, I end my speech right now. Thank you very much. May our deliberation bring meaningful outcome for the youth of the Commonwealth. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Sheshe Nandri Vanakam.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Senator, for the enlightening message and your dedication to nurturing the global youth work movement. Next, we invite Honorable Sayyidah Amna Batul, co-chair of the Commonwealth Youth Ministerial Task Force, to share her views.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, the Assistant General for the Commonwealth, Honorable Youth Ministers, distinguished ministry officials, youth workers, global visionaries, young delegates, young leaders, activists, and vibrant voices from across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good day to you all. It is a privilege to address the distinguished gathering at a time when youth work has never been more important or more urgently needed. This conference brings together people who shape young lives every day: government officials, youth workers, educators, social innovators, counselors, digital guides, peace builders, and community visionaries who stand at the front line of change. I represent Pakistan, where 70% of the population is youth. Our government, our Prime Minister Youth Program, and the youth of Pakistan, we believe in our youth because we have a firm faith that our country, no country can progress without investing rightly into on youth and realizing their potential. Pakistan has recently developed National Youth and Adolescent Policy, National Youth Employment Policy under the leadership of Prime Minister Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif and the chairman of the Prime Minister Youth Program, Rana Mashood Ahmad Khan. The theme of this forum, Youth Work in a Changing World, Sustaining Local Wisdom for Global Connectivity, captures the dual responsibility we share to preserve the culture, wisdom that shape identity while preparing young people to succeed in a world defined by digital transformation, global mobility, and evolving economic resilience. Youth workers are the mentors who guide young people through uncertainty, the visionaries who see potentials where others see limitations, the connectors who bridge communities and opportunities, and the protectors who uphold safeguarding mental health and dignity. Young people today face high unemployment, gender gaps, digital divides, exclusion, climate vulnerability, and rising mental health pressures. Youth workers must be equipped to confront these realities with innovation, compassion, and resilience. Education must bring knowledge gaps and digital divides while preserving cultural roots. Youth workers should support digital literacy, equal access for girls and marginalized communities, and future skills such as AI, technology, and climate adaptation. Youth workers must also support transition into future-proof jobs, entrepreneurship, green businesses, and digital markets. Government must create employment ecosystem that value both traditional crafts and modern industries. Youth participation must be inclusive. Youth workers should strengthen leadership, civic participation, and peace building, ensuring that no young person is excluded due to gender, disability, geography, or economic status. Climate action must combine indigenous wisdom with global innovation. Youth must be empowered to lead sustainability projects, conservation, and environment resilience. The Commonwealth must professionalize youth workers, expand digital academies, strengthen safeguarding and mental health support, and build networks for innovation and climate resilience. We must also reduce gender disparities, expand digital access, support rural and informal youth, and build cross-border innovation networks. Pakistan continues to advance the agenda of youth development under the Prime Minister's Youth Program with projects including skill development program, entrepreneurship, financing through easy business loans, digital youth hub, national youth council, e-sport initiatives, and climate awareness and capacity building programs. If we empower youth workers, honor local wisdom, and address unemployment, exclusion, gender gaps, and digital divides, we will not just support youth, we will transform nations. Let us build a future where no young person is left behind. No single nation, ministry, or youth work can meet the scale of today's challenges alone. Our strength lies in learning from one another, sharing innovations, exchanging best practices, and building collective solutions. When Commonwealth countries collaborate, when Asia connects its youth networks, and when practitioners openly share their successes and failures, we accelerate the progress for everyone. The wisdom of one community can inspire resilience in another. A breakthrough in one country can spark transformation across a region. Partnership allows us to connect local insights with global expertise, ensuring that youth work evolve with relevance, inclusivity, and impact. Lastly, I would request each and every young person who is present here to clap for themselves, and I clap for them too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring leadership and vision. It is now our honor to invite Professor Louis Franceschi, Assistant Secretary General of the Commonwealth, to deliver the opening viewpoints.
Excellencies, honorable ministers, deputy ministers, principal secretaries, senior officials, deputy vice chancellor of the university, friends, ladies and gentlemen, but especially and in a very special way, the young people and students in this room, the young leaders. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. From behind there, we couldn't hear very well if it was good morning, afternoon, evening. But in a minute, we'll be listening to the video message from the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Honorable Shirley Bochway. And she is addressing everyone in this room, but to the disappointment of us, the VIPs sitting in the front tables, the true VIPs here are sitting behind, because are the young leaders, the leaders of the future, as we usually call them. But to their disappointment, I have to say that you are not leaders, you will not be leaders of the present, past, or future. You will achieve nothing in life, you will be nobody, you will do nothing for this world unless you are the best version of yourself. So Cicero, a famous Roman lawyer and orator 2,000 years ago, said, "The wise are instructed by reason, ordinary minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, brutes by instinct." And if you are guided by instinct or by necessity, you will get nowhere. You will not improve the world. You will not be able to stop or cure those 58 conflicts that are ransacking many souls in the world today. Wisdom is here in your heart, in your country, for those who come from Malaysia or wherever you come from. As Senator said, you have to look for local wisdom, first of all, and learn from your culture so that you can learn from other cultures and enrich yourself. Not wisdom that comes just from the East or from the West, but from your hearts and from your lives. That's why one of the most important things for anyone to be a true leader are those very traditional virtues that even the Greek already taught us. And in every culture, they come out in one way or another. For example, prudence, to make the right decisions, to have data. Courage, to put them into practice. Self-control, to be an example to all. And justice, to give each person his or her due. Without those, we will not get to leadership. And to get to leadership requires two more important virtues that are built on those four, and are magnanimity and humility. Magnanimity is to see the end behind the horizon, beyond the horizon, and to walk above those differences of character and put a team who thinks together and who enrich with different cultures and viewpoints our decisions. And humility, to realize that we need to serve. We are all here as leaders and future leaders to serve. Well, the Commonwealth is this amazing network of 56 countries. It was born from the pains of colonization, but as we usually say, from those lemons that were thrown at us, we made lemonade. So we transformed this into a beautiful network of people who have a similar law system, common law, and who speak a language, at least a language that unites the different ethnicities in our own countries, that is English. And from that historical fact that may have been imposed on us, we have decided to make that lemonade, to drink and refresh ourselves and build the future. And that's what the Commonwealth is. It's not Britain, it's not Kenya, it's not Malaysia, it's all of us together. and all of us with equal power, equal vote, no matter if you are Nauru with 11,000 inhabitants, or India with 1.4 billion, or Kenya with 50 million, or Nigeria with 200 million. Every country counts in the same way, and every country has a say in this beautiful organization. And in a world where you young people can spend endless days, hours, minutes scrolling videos and doing nothing, feeding your brains with nothing but simply the unexpected, because that's what happens when we scroll in social media again and again, you have to be wise, we have to be wise, and we all have to decide to go back to the books, whether they are e-books or actual books, but if you don't feed your brains with ideas, you will have no ideals. And if you have no ideals, you have nothing to fight for. And these beautiful conferences where you get energized, you hear incredible ideas, and you match together the future with what's happening today in innovation, will go to waste. Because without ideals, all those ideas cannot be sustained. And to end and introduce the Secretary General, this is something we in the Commonwealth have very much in our minds and in our hearts, to inspire. We know that we are not the World Bank, we do not have the money, we are not NATO, we don't have the weapons, we have ideals that can inspire. And that fraternity, that from some pain in the past and joys of the future brings together this wonderful family. We cannot guarantee success, but we guarantee failure by giving up. So giving up is not an option. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. So let us now hear a few words from the Secretary General of the Commonwealth.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends. It is a great pleasure to join you for the 5th Commonwealth Global Youth Work Conference, and a special honor for me as Secretary General to speak to those who stand at the very heart of our Commonwealth's mission, our youth workers. You are the quiet champions of youth development, mentors, guides, and advocates who serve without fanfare, often without pay. You give your time, your energy, and your hearts to help young people find their way in schools, in communities, and on the streets. You stand beside them when the challenges are greatest, helping them turn uncertainty into confidence and possibility. For over 50 years, the Commonwealth has proudly championed youth work, sometimes alone, always with conviction. Because we know that to empower young people, we must also empower those who walk beside them. Youth workers are the bridge between potential and purpose, between hope and achievement. This year's theme, Youth Work in a Changing World, is so important. You operate in a landscape transformed by technology, economic shifts, and social change. Artificial intelligence, digital economies, climate disruption, and new forms of civic participation are redefining how young people see themselves and their future. And yet, amid this rapid change, your role has never been more vital. We need youth workers in every village, town, and city. People who can help young citizens find meaning amid uncertainty, belonging amid division, and courage amid complexity. That is why youth empowerment is a central thread of the Commonwealth's new strategic plan. Across our work on democracy, economic transformation, and climate change, we are investing in the people who make transformation real, our youth workers. They are the front line of human development. So today I want to say thank you. Thank you for your dedication, for your patience, your belief in young people. Thank you for persevering when resources are scarce and recognition limited. You are answering a calling. And I encourage ministers, governments, and partners to continue to invest in youth work. When we professionalize and support youth work, we build stronger individuals, stronger communities, and stronger nations. In a Commonwealth where 60% of our citizens are under 30, youth work is essential. To our gracious hosts, Malaysia, thank you for bringing this global gathering to Asia for the first time, and for your leadership as ASEAN Chair in this historic year. To University Putra Malaysia and all academic partners, thank you for advancing youth work as both a field of study and a profession. Your example reminds us that training youth workers is not a cost. It is an investment with limitless returns. And to the young people taking part in this conference, this gathering is for you. Around you are people who believe in your dreams and your power to shape the world. Learn from them. Work with them. Know that they are with you today and for generations to come. Friends, as you share ideas and experiences over the next few days, I'm confident that new partnerships and insights will emerge, rooted in local wisdom, yet connected to our shared global future. The Commonwealth's greatest strength lies not in its size or its wealth, but in its people, in you, the youth workers who embody compassion, courage, and commitment. On behalf of the entire Commonwealth family, thank you for what you do, and for all you will continue to do to build a fairer, more inclusive, and more hopeful future for young people everywhere. Thank you, and I wish you an inspiring and successful conference.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Louis, for bringing this short message from the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Honorable Shirley Botchway. I believe that must be inspiring to all attendees today. And Professor, I echo to what you have said earlier. We should always strive to be the better versions of ourselves than yesterday. So next up, I'd like to invite Yang Berhormat Senator Dr. Julfitri Johar to the stage to present token of appreciation. Inviting Honorable Sayyidah Amna Batul to the stage, please. And also inviting Professor Louis Franceschi to the stage to receive the token. May I request for all three of you to remain on stage for a group photo? Can I also invite all the ministers and also head of delegations to the stage for a group photo, please? All head of delegations and ministers, we welcome you to the stage for a group photo session. So those of you who are representing your country, please do be present on stage. Is everyone here? Did we miss anyone? Okay, Miss Sabiha? All right. Okay, President of World Assembly of Youth. All right, everyone, smile for the camera. Okay, everybody wants to give a thumbs up. Want to give a different pose? Do you want to give a mini heart? Yeah, we do a thumbs up first. Smile. Yes, happy. It's a photo. We're going to remember this. All right, may I also request all head of delegates and ministers to be back on the floor. We are going to take group photo with everyone here today. And we request for the photographers to go on stage to get the entire photograph. Yes, head of delegates and ministers, you may face the stage. And to the rest of participants, feel free to come closer. Everybody come closer, those who are seated. Be a part of this group photo session. Everyone, let's come closer. So if you want to get a spot in the photo, you know where to stand. So those of you who are vertically challenged, you know where to stand. All right, all good? So remember, if you can see the camera lens, that means you are in the photo. If you can't see the camera lens, that means you are not covered. You may use the chairs if you wish to kneel on it or stand on it. Or some of you, far back, you may jump to be in the shot. Okay, photo. Next, we'll do a video, okay, videographers? Later we do a video. All right, later we will do that. Now we take a photo first, few shots. Everybody smile. Happy faces. We need to see happy faces. All right, smile everyone. Smile for the camera. Okay, everybody stand by ready when I'll say 1, 2, 3 and everybody say Commonwealth. Ready? Commonwealth together. Okay, all right. So few of them will say Commonwealth when they say Commonwealth and the rest of you say together. All right, let's do it, everyone. Okay, stand by. 1, 2, 3. Let's do one more time. I think for Commonwealth, we need few more people to say it. It's not loud enough. Yeah, so those who are going to shout out Commonwealth, okay, so we get a few of you to say Commonwealth and the rest of you say together following after that. Okay, all good? Ready? Stand by. 1. Hold on. Let me count first. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy? Should we do one more time? One more time. We are still not happy with this. Okay. YB Senator, I think I'm going to pass the microphone to you. I think it's better. Yes.
All right. Okay. Ready? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Commonwealth. Yeah. Commonwealth. Yeah. Commonwealth. Yeah. Oh. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. That was lovely. Everyone, please be seated. All right, everyone. So please be seated. We will be continuing the rest of the session for the day. Yes, after all the speeches and with all this energetic photography session, I hope some of you are slightly awake to enjoy the rest of the day. So may I also bring attention to everyone that today is the World International Students Day. Yeah. Let's give a round of applause to our fellow students who are present here today. So every year on 17th of November, this day honors the student activism of the past and celebrate the cultural diversity and achievements through various events worldwide. So those of you who like to know what is the significance of this event, you may Google. So students, we hope that we empower you and your voice will continue be heard to days to come. And can we also circle back to our fellow young dancers we watched earlier? Did you enjoy the performance earlier? Yeah, what a lovely performance by our lovely dancers. The organizers would also like to express our deepest gratitude to the young dance troupe Citra Jentayu from Sekolah Kebangsaan Jalan Tiga, Bandar Baru Bangi, Selangor, a high-performance school under the Ministry of Education, Malaysia. These talented dancers have also represented Malaysia in the Etoiles de Paris International Dance Festival in Paris, France, and won the overall champion award. Give a round of applause to them. What a lovely, talented students them. All right, so can I check with everyone, all of you here, all of you still present in the hall? Yes, your mind is still here, or your body is here, but your mind is flying elsewhere. All good so far? Yeah, okay. So before we proceed, allow me to share a short reflection with all of you. The youth are the messengers of change, and every visionary generation rewrites a successful history with his courage. Today, let us be that generation that builds bridges, not walls. Now, let's move on to the first agenda of the day. So we have our seats ready. Lovely. All right. So for the plenary session 1, without further ado, I'd like to invite our moderator, Miss Sabiha Shaheen from the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations Asia. Give a round of applause. Next up, I'd like to invite our fellow speakers. For today's session, we will explore the overall theme of the Global Youth Work Conference, Youth Work in a Changing World, Sustaining Local Wisdom for Global Connectivity, inviting our distinguished speakers, including Honorable Bakari Badji, Minister of Youth and Sports, the Gambia, next up, Leigh Middleton, CEO of National Youth Agency. Followed by Lane Robinson, Head of Social Policy, the Commonwealth Secretariat. Next up, we have Ms. Cynthia Marcus, Director, Education and Innovation of World Scouting. We have Ms. Tanya Merrick, Co-Chair, Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations and Jamaica Youth Work Association. She will be joining us via online. And last but not least, inviting Datuk Seri Idris Harun, the President of World Assembly of Youth. All right, Ms. Moderator, I pass the floor to you. Try to speak into the mic. Ms. Sabiha, are you able to speak?
It's not working.
Oh, right,
Yeah, it's
great.
working.
Okay.
Hello, Assalamu Alaikum, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. I am honored to moderate this very prestigious panel. But ladies and gentlemen, and very dear youth in this room, I need your attention. So a big round of applause for these panelists. No, this is not enough. I need more attention. Yes. As you all know, this is 5th Global Youth Work Conference. And the theme, and you know about the theme. Theme is Global Youth Work Conference 2025, and theme is Sustaining Local Wisdom for Global Connectivity. And we have sub-theme. Do you know about the sub-themes? I'm again asking to young people, my focus would be with you, at you. So we have 6 sub-themes. Do you know about them? Will you repeat with me? The first one is social. What is? Social. No, I want to hear from you. Social. The second is political. The third is legal. The fourth is environmental. The fifth is technological, which is yours theme, technological. So, social, political, legal, technological, environmental, and then political, social, legal, economical, technological, and environmental, right? So, everyone should know about these themes because this conference is about you, about youth work. Where we are talking about youth workers, we need to talk about our youth. And this is the right time to talk about sustaining local wisdom for global connectivity because our young people and our youth has energy, passion, awareness, knowledge more than ever. Do you agree with me? Although we have generational gap more than ever, now we have different cohorts of age groups, and then we have given them names. And the most popular and passionate and energetic group of young people, who are they? They are Gen Z. Gen Z is sitting here. So can you raise your hands? Oh, we have a lot of Gen Z. So we have a lot of Gen Z, And I really appreciate and admire this generation, this whole generation, who unapologetically talk about their mental health. Am I right? They unapologetically talk about their mental health, their well-being. They ask for their me times, and they raise questions. So this conference is all about youth and youth work. So we want your voices, we want your wisdom, and we want your disturbing and critical questions with creative solutions. So I won't do anything without you people. So I need attention. I need your comments, your questions, everything in this time we are holding this panel. So coming back to my panel, I have really prestigious panel with us at this moment. As my co-moderator, she has introduced our panel. I will start without further delaying. And I will start from Lee. Lee, you coordinated the 4th Global Youth Work Conference. What were the biggest lessons, tensions, and breakthroughs? And how do they shape this 5th conference?
Thank you so much. It's amazing to be here amongst so many amazing youth workers and great to see so many young people. It was a privilege to host the 4th Global Youth Work Conference in the United Kingdom, and our theme was around forging a sustainable and peaceful common future, kind of recognizing the global conflicts in the world, but also the role of youth workers in educating young people around peace, around civility, around understanding and supporting each other as they grow up through their lives. We brought together nearly 400 people in person and nearly 1,000 online, and it's an absolute privilege to sort of transfer the baton, if you wish, of this conference to our amazing Malaysian hosts here. I think our conference focused on a range of things, but purposely around shared ideas, around the role of young people being supported by youth workers, and recognizing youth workers as a profession, as a often unrecognized or insufficiently recognized profession around the world, but a profession that without youth workers, young people would not be able to achieve their full potential in life. And so we focused on relationships and the way youth workers build those relationships with young people. We focused on innovation and difference. We had a whole section around digital, showing digital technologies working with young people, which was very creative. And that world has exploded in the last 2 years with AI and other inventions. But we also looked at our key 3 themes, which was around celebration, collaboration, and collectivism. But I wanted to focus on that last point around collectivism, how we come together, not just to be in this place, but in other places, and how we gather with young people to recognize them as the future and to recognize their brilliance and what they provide us as society. And what we've heard brilliantly from some of our ministers, and I'm very grateful that we have all the ministers attending, is that young people are our future generation. We must back them. We must give them every opportunity to thrive and succeed, because if we don't, the world misses out and society misses out. So yeah, we had an amazing time in Reading with hundreds and hundreds of people. I will never forget how hard it was to organise it. I would like to pass on my congratulations to the organising committee and the Malaysian team that put this together. This is an epic effort, and pat yourselves on the back, because we know how hard this is to do. So well done, thank you.
Thank you very much. Lee, what would you say the youth work sector must do differently this time?
I think the risk is that we come together, we have amazing sets of conversations, everyone gets back on their planes, trains, buses and what have you, but doesn't keep in touch. And I think the one thing we've got to do better this time is to keep in touch. There was a number of WhatsApp groups that fizzled out after 3 months, but actually we've got to keep sharing ideas, sharing our expertise and our support. So I invite anybody to, if you make a connection, write down their email, their WhatsApp, their phone number, keep in touch with them, give them a phone call every now and again, see how things are. It's really tough out there for lots and lots of youth workers. And I think we're a big supportive network, and that's something that we could have done better last time that we can absolutely take away this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think we need a big round of applause for Lee Middleton. Not enough. A little more. Yeah, thank you. Now I would like to invite Lane Robinson, and before inviting him for talk, I just want to share a little story. Lane Robinson is my mentor, and I'm a proud youth worker. A few years back, I met him in Pakistan, and at that time, basically, I was a youth activist, youth leader when I was young. But later on, I realized now I'm an older person, an old lady, so I should not be in touch and be with youth work and youth development work. And I was actually about to leave this work, and that time I met Lane Robinson, and I just discussed with him my fear, my concern, because sometimes young people, they make fun of such people who are older and working for young people and youth, and they talk about youth work and youth. So they make fun of them. So I just shared this thing, and then Lane explained me this idea of youth worker, and he insisted me that I should stay with this work because this is my experience of 2 decades, and I know nothing other than youth work. So he said that I can contribute as youth worker. And at that time, I realized, and I basically picked this idea of youth worker. And now I am proud youth worker of Pakistan, and I have started Youth Worker Association in Pakistan with the support of Commonwealth Secretariat, especially Lane Robinson, Peter Enam, Saima, and more importantly, our Prime Minister Youth Program and PMYP team, they supported me. Our Minister Rana Mashood Ahmed Khan, he's very supportive, then Amna Batul, Dr. Ali. So now we have youth worker associations in Pakistan, and all credit goes to Lane. So thank you, Lane. Thank you. You are a mentor of youth workers, and now I would like you to talk about, as you are social policy expert in Commonwealth, and you have worked overseas social policy across 56 member states. How is youth work involving across the Commonwealth, politically, socially, and strategically?
No, thank you very much, moderator. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here and on this panel. It's my pleasure to join this panel and to share some thoughts at this 5th conference. So, working across the Commonwealth, I've seen a lot over the many years, and this is my last conference in this official capacity. So I've seen a lot, so I've been reflecting quite a lot. And one of the things that I would want to say to everyone here, we have learned a lot. But we must imagine how far we've come. We pay tribute to all those who worked with us. We're going to hear a lot about the staff, people like Henry Charles, his wife is here. We pay tribute to Marjorie. We have so many youth workers who I've met. Lee, you're on the stage here. We've worked with so many people over the years. Imagine how far we've come. A few years ago when I started in the Commonwealth, we only had a degree program. We only had a program that would train a few hundred persons in youth work. Now, we have over 27 universities offering courses, and they're doing courses, not just diploma, but they're doing degrees, UPM is doing a PhD in youth work. That's a huge achievement over these years. We should put our hands together. We didn't have that kind of thing a few years ago. Then we talk about Kiowa. Kiowa is a recent phenomenon, 2017. Before that we had youth workers struggling all across the world, and we said, we must come together. The collective action is what is needed, and we agreed to form the Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Workers Association. Birth in Uganda. And look at what Kiowa is doing. Kiowa is becoming stronger and stronger every day. Now we are at 33 associations all across the Commonwealth. Isn't that something? It is something to be at. Because you know, these Kiowa, they are not being paid. They're volunteering their time working for the Commonwealth. Imagine how far we have come. A few years ago, youth workers were on the periphery. When you talk about policy development and design, and you see the ministers sit together, you see our young people sit together, the youth workers were not there. And what we have done now, we've written the youth workers into the very fabric of the Commonwealth. When youth ministers sit, yes, you will see our ministers, they make policy, we need them. Minister is right here. Yes, you will see our young people, they are the actual best advocates for youth anywhere in the world. But right now, when every time they sit, you will see the youth workers sitting right at the table. That's a huge achievement. You know, we had our youth ministers task force meeting yesterday, and you had all the ministers, yes, you had the young persons through the CYC, and you had Kiowa sitting at the table, not beside the table, not under the table, but at the table contributing their thoughts and ideas. That's a huge achievement. So we are growing. We are not where we want to be yet in the Commonwealth. The challenges are great. The obstacles remain. The legal frameworks are still not there. The policy frameworks are still not there. There's still a lot of confusion about what is youth work. In many countries, people are wondering what it is. Youth workers are giving up left, right, and center. So many of the youth workers that I know and grew up with, they have left the profession and have gone on to other better paying professions because the knowledge they have is so powerful. Other people value it more than you would say sometimes our own. So they are making more money in other sectors rather than this one. But you know what's the biggest thing that I've seen over these many years is the impact that youth workers are having on the young people. The change that I am already seeing in our young people right now, the way that they are mobilizing, they are taking action. Sometimes you would say they have, chaotically, they have bring down governments. We see it happening. The young people are now taking charge of their future. That is the work of youth work, to inspire the next generation, to not just be beneficiaries of the future, but to be the ones who drive that agenda. So the Commonwealth is growing. The Commonwealth youth work profession is growing. And there's lots more to do, but that's what I've seen over these many years. And it's my pleasure to have been associated with so many wonderful people on this panel and all across the world to see how we can even go further. But the job is not done. Much more is needed to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lane. Your energy is always amazing. I just want to know, although it's a difficult question, but what do you see as a single biggest pressure shaping youth work right now across the Commonwealth?
It's a good question. What's the biggest pressure? I think right now we really do have to, go back to basics. I think one of the biggest is we have to go back to now is raising that awareness. Increasingly, as I go from place to place, I'm seeing the misunderstanding about the role we do in this space. There's a lot more needed for raising awareness. And so a conference like this, those of us who are here have to do a lot more in telling that message. Many ministries of youth still don't have youth work in their policies. Many youth work ministries still don't talk about youth work. They talk about young people, which is great, but it's the profession that will make the difference. And I always say to every government agency, government minister standing here, the investment in youth work is a long-term investment. When you talk about working with the people who work with young people, you will have, people always spend a lot of money on grants and youth funds. And it will be great, but it's only for that young person in that generation for the next maybe 3 years until they age out of youth. But an investment in youth work is a generation, it's 30 years. It's a good investment to invest in the people who work with young people. So in addition to investing in the grants and the funds, also spend some investment on the human resource. That is what I think would be the biggest need right now. To pay more attention to the human resource of the Commonwealth, it will make a big difference. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Lane very rightly pointed out this concern and point that we often in our countries, we don't pay attention to youth work and youth workers. Rather, lot of countries and lot of people are not familiar with this term youth worker. Now I think it's a time to talk to them, to our young people and youth in this hall, in this room. And this morning I met young girls from India. Are you still here? They were school girls and no, they're not here. Okay. So I think we need to talk to you people. As I mentioned in the beginning that we have 6 sub-themes: political, economic, social, legal, technological, and environmental. What do you think? What is the biggest problem, disruption in your country if we see this list? Can you please share with us? Yeah, it can be political, it can be social. What do you think? Can you please come forward and share your... Hello, youth, young people. Yeah, please, please, please. Please tell your name, country.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Kazim Olanrowaju. I'm from Nigeria. And one thing I want to ask that I see as a major challenge nowadays is that we talk about youth a lot, but in reality, we don't involve the youth, either in decision making, either in planning, execution. Now, my concern is, if you're actually talking about youth, at what point do you think they should be involved in whatever you're planning for them? Should it be at the planning, implementation, or evaluation? I think we should start thinking about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we're very important. Youth's meaningful participation. How we can ensure youth meaningful participation. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Rosie Shanek, and I'm in capacity here as the Commonwealth Youth Council Regional Representative for Africa. I think from all of these that were mentioned, the biggest disadvantage right now for the youth would be technological, because there's a lot of technology that takes over youth work. So youth don't have that entry level in order for them to meet the minimum requirements of you should have X number of years experience. So at what juncture do we then have technological innovation and advancement, and that the youth could work for? So that's why we have a rising problem of youth unemployment globally. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please. Anyone else? As this gentleman mentioned about meaningful youth participation, we want to ensure your participation in this conference next 2-3 days. So please, can you please share what is the biggest factor, reason, disruption in your country when we talk about youth work? Yeah, please. Please give them a...
Thank you very much. My name is Mutinta Masowe from Zambia. An educator. Yeah. So I was listening very closely to the conversation, and one of the key things that we talked about is technology. So as the Commonwealth, as countries in the Global South, we need to look at the aspect of funding and when we are talking about youth work. So coming to technology, of course, of late, we've noticed to say artificial intelligence has actually come to the scene. And it was already there, but mostly countries in the Global South are beginning to notice about artificial intelligence. So are we really ready as countries in the Global South with limited funding and also with limited young people sitting at the table? I submit.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's very important. And young people who are sitting here and even youth worker, I'm sure all of you use social media. Huh? So, yeah, I think all of you use social media. You are on Instagram, Facebook. So please write about this conference and tag Fifth Global Conference. They have page. Then you can tag Commonwealth page, Commonwealth Secretariat page, And in this way, we can disseminate this information to a lot of people. So please, this is my request to all of you. Now I would like to ask our third panelist. So I will ask about our Honorable Minister, Mr. Bakre Y. Baji. I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Minister of Youth, Sports, Gambia. Sir, you are politician, you are minister, and our politician, I think across the globe, they are very nice when they are politician, when they are not in the government. They engage young people, they work with youth, but when they are in the government, usually they maintain a distance with the young people. This is not I'm saying, usually youth and young people, they have this complaint from you. Now you are sitting in the government. How you ensure meaningful youth participation in policy, in your practices and your decision-making bodies?
Well, thank you. And good morning to everyone that is here, our moderator, and to the members of the panel, and to all of the young people that are coming from Malaysia and from around the world. It's good to have you here. Well, on the question asked to the relationship between the politicians and the young people, I mean, I agree. There is sometimes that kind of gap that will, of course, all of us need to work on to improve, to build the bridges between the ministers, other politicians, and the general population of young people. But I guess it's not all. It depends on who is appointed minister, and what capacity the person is holding. If people come from a sector and they are appointed to head that sector, there seems to be a difference. So for instance, you have a young person who has been active in the youth work, and that person grows to become matured and be educated and eventually be appointed minister. That relationship continues. And I'm saying this using myself as an example, because yesterday I said it in the ministers' meeting, that some of us were groomed and brought up by youth work and the Commonwealth youth programs and everything. And when I was younger, I volunteered in several organizations and eventually became the leader of my municipality young people, and then went on to serve in the National Youth Council of the Gambia as a council member for 5 years. And in all of that, we were leading all of the work that we're doing, complaining about what didn't go right in our governments and all that. And then eventually, after many years, I came back as Minister of Youth and Sports. So today, as Minister, reflecting back on what I used to do, I try my best to ensure that I create the linkage between myself and the young people that are today active in the youth work. And where an opportunity comes, we give it to young people. Just a few days ago, we appointed a very young person as the chairperson of the National Youth Council of the Gambia, and it's a female. And we try to move away from those chairpersons. Thank you. Chairpersons holding it being all male and all the people as well. But not only that, even in our leadership, we have created opportunities for young men and women to come and serve as directors, come and serve as deputy directors. And those are the transformations that we're doing. But across the board, we just want to request that everyone else, whether a politician or not, to continuously engage the young people, because you cannot make policies without engaging the people that it is going to affect, or the people that are going to make it work. And in this instance, doing work without the involvement of the young person. There is a reason also sometimes from the side of the young people, because we know that evolution has happened. Sometimes there is the respect is not there between the politicians and the young people, and so it can create a break. So it's a both sides. In as much as we want the politicians to open up to young people, we also expect the young people to understand that in dealing with people who are in authority, there's supposed to be some kind of respect and some kind of decorum in the way that we handle our message. So it's a both side issue. Do politicians close the doors for young people? Yes. Can we make it work? I believe yes. But the most important thing is the relationship between the young people and the politician being cordial, so that when we need them, they are there, and when they need us, we will be there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Minister. And Minister Saab is putting responsibility on youth as well. Do you agree with this? Huh? He says responsibility lies to both. Huh? Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. And again, a critical and difficult question. What is one political shift that could transform youth work in Commonwealth countries? One political shift.
To make it a profession. The professionalization of the youth work, for me, I guess, is the best that we can be able to do to ensure that just like somebody goes to school to be educated, to become a nurse, to become a teacher, to become a doctor, that we have the same for youth work, make it a profession, that somebody goes to school to learn what youth work is, and that transformation will certainly happen.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. Now, the power of non-formal education. Miss Cynthia. Miss Cynthia, you are doing very important work, scouting. And even in Pakistan, we have scouts and then we have Girl Guides. And I was part of Girl Guides when I was in school. It's very great platform for young people, especially out of school and like beyond school and universities. So, ma'am, you are doing really amazing work. What do you think, what does youth work look like beyond the classroom as we look towards the future?
Thank you very much, Abiha. Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge that many of us, myself, I'm a product of youth work, of non-formal education. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. And I think that's the responsibility that we have as non-formal education organizations, because more and more, and we see that non-formal education provides so much to the development of skills of young people that is not necessarily all what people is needing now or young people is needing to actually face so many and fast changing conditions all around the world. So I think from non-formal education, one thing that we can provide first is the sense of purpose and the sense of belonging. But that can only be achieved if, as we do through our organizations, we ensure that young people is sitting on the spaces when decisions are being taken, when the design of the future is being made, because in that way, that important word that is being mentioned here, the wisdom, is being collectively designed. There's no wisdom that just only because of experience you have. There's wisdom in every single individual in the community, because only each person knows what exactly do they need, and in the way of creating those spaces is how we can create community. The other element is how we create those safe spaces you were mentioning earlier. We see more, you mentioned how young people is lacking spaces to share their concerns, to have a mentor, to share among themselves how do they feel about the conditions that are affecting them. And through international networking also, we can also secure that they not only share their perspectives in a safe space where they have mentors around, when they have ears that can catalyze what they need, but also they have a connection where they can find other youth in another side of the world that probably is facing similar challenges. And by fostering this international collaboration, then the wisdom, it becomes more the wisdom of the crowd and can also transfer from one place to the other. There's also wisdom in collaborating between youth and the earlier generation, as I call it, because we also know so much. I cannot imagine myself now not seeking for the collaboration of a younger person for me to understand digital world, AI, and this is where we need to acknowledge each other. What do we know and what we don't know so we can make a team? So I think our greatest strength is how can we leverage these collaborations, these safe spaces in fostering innovation, bringing innovation from the ground to our structures and our systems in structures that are being designed to support young people, to support this development of capacities, and to leverage on their leadership as well.
Thank you, Cynthia. Now, our online colleague, she's practitioners and Miss Tanya. Yeah, Miss Tanya, now I would like to ask you, you are a practitioners and you definitely collaborate, engage youth every day. So what does youth work look like on a Monday morning in the Caribbean? And what do you think, what is the one thing policymakers often misunderstand about youth work?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's an interesting question. What does youth work look like on a Monday morning? It looks like a rainbow. It's different everywhere because you have a wide cadre of youth workers. You have a wide cadre of people working with young people in youth centers all across the Caribbean through government programs, nonprofits working with young people in the streets. I stay connected working with young people. So I work with a unique population of incarcerated youth. So at the end of the day, youth work on a Monday morning is, if the young people had not seen that engager throughout the weekend, it's exciting. It's like the young person is seeing a breath of fresh air. They're seeing sunshine, they're seeing life. Because young people that are living, especially in the margins, a youth worker is that connection to hope, to change, to potential, to possibility. That's the person that makes me feel like somebody. And so that's what a Monday morning looks like. It's exciting for the youth worker because their young people make them know that we appreciate you. That's the beauty of the work. I can be having the hardest day, and when I get in front of the young people, the appreciation that they express for having you there and the connection is great. So that's the first part of it. Can you repeat the second part of the question again? Because I got lost in the first part, just enjoying the moment.
Okay. What is the one thing policymakers often misunderstands about youth work?
They misunderstand what youth work is. Like Lane said, recognition. Youth development overall is misunderstood because youth development is a science, it's a process, it's an approach, and then it's a practice. So a youth worker is somebody that's applying the science of young people in an intentional process, and it's the approach. And so people often misunderstand the definition. And then by extension, they expect, just like you said in your story, they expect that a youth worker is going to be young. But we have youth workers who are in their 60s and they are tremendously effective in what they do. So I think for a lot of policymakers, they don't understand initially what youth development is, and then they misinterpret all the subsequent concepts like youth mainstreaming. Youth mainstreaming is not just inclusion of youth and participation of youth, it's the inclusion of the interest of youth, the science of youth in any policy or program. So I think that's where the initial problem lies, in understanding youth development and then to understand its components.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, now we will hear our last panelist, last but not the least, and he will talk about very interesting and relevant to you people. So, Adris Haroon, yeah.
Idris.
Sorry.
Idris.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Youth are growing up in a hyper-digital world. How is technology transforming youth work?
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to express my utmost gratitude to the organizing committee for counting me in as one of the panelists. Indeed, my name is Idris Harun. If you can hardly pronounce my name, you can just say addressed. You can address me, Idris Harun. I am the current president of the World Assembly of Youth. I took office in 2010. It's about 15 years ago. It will be related to your question, Sabiha. And if we paid attention to the three speakers, the keynote speakers before us, the answers about technology influence within the young people today is there. It's already answered by all the three speakers. But anyway, we got to be agreeable in three premises. One, we are living in a transformation world. The world is transforming rapidly, so fast. If you are late, you'll be left behind. So young people, ever since the early days, has been reminded to be within the development, to be always updated yourself with the development. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed, we live in the era of constant change. Within a blink and an eye, you can see, as far as I can remember, when I took office as the president of WAY, the only way of communicating Lane was twice meeting a year, and you had got to spend fortune to bring all the EXCO members to one place, and with the online. And when I was at the youth age, like 18 years old, I won a scholarship to go to America, to go to the United States to further study. And the only way of communicating is the phone line, 1 ringgit per minute. So we have to really be precise on how long do we have to talk back home to our family. But now, as I'm speaking here, my counterpart Ernesto in Trinidad Tobago is listening to me, paying attention to, hey bro, this is what you must tell the young people today. They have to keep themselves updated with all development in order for them to be counted in decision making and problem solving of the generation. So young people, as I can see today, we are youth workers. I am also a product of youth workers. I've been in the government. I was a chief minister before. And when I was a chief minister, I tried to bring the youth workers and the youth leaders in the primary. But I failed because they were rejected by the political sentiment. And this is one thing that we need to learn. The first challenges is, like Dr. Julfitri, he is now the member of the upper house of Malaysia. We give one big round of applause for him. I can still remember, like 5 years ago when he met me at the office, I was telling him, Dr. Ju, you have to be the member of the upper house representing the young people. At that time, he was the president of Malaysian Youth Council. But now it's a bit too late, but it's never too late, Dr. Ju. You can still fight and advocate the young people. Ladies and gentlemen, in this room, within this room now, I want to know how many are you within the age band of 15 to 25?
15 to 25.
Not even 1% of us. We are here talking, advocating the young people, but no one of them, or just a few of them, paying attention to us. So we are a youth worker, of course, but I believe our session will be more meaningful if the audience is filled by the young people. I have to agree with Louis just now. Professor Louis, the one that's supposed to be sitting at the front is the young people, not the, I categorize myself as the ancient youth. We call it apa? Belia Purba. Ancient youth. Am I right? Belia Purba.
Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, these are the challenges. the youth, the young people, the youth workers always put themselves within the group, and I would say that fail to bring about ourselves in the center of attention so that we will be appointed and elected as the leaders within the society.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. We are running short of the time, but I will again ask our audience and especially young people, please, if you want to share anything, feel free. We just want to know what do you think, what is the one piece of local wisdom in your country that youth work should protect? Please, if you share with us, it would be really nice and helpful for all of us, all youth workers. Yes, please. Yes, please. Otherwise, the organizers are showing me paper that we are running short of the time.
Hello, good morning. My name is William. I'm from Ghana. So to the minister, in Ghana we have policy, the youth policy implementation plan, everything is okay. But then the issue is that the political will to address young people's issue when it comes to the policy is the problem. One party comes and chooses what to do. Another party comes and chooses what to do. Can we have a consensus, a roadmap, that whoever comes into power, these are the needs of the young people? Dedicate so much money for these people in terms of technology, in terms of education, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of every aspect of youth development. If this is done, I think it will make youth workers' work more simple than we see now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Please, please. After that, we will take one more comment question. Yeah, this lady.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Noria from Zambia. And my submission is that I think what our communities need to protect is our culture. We are in a fast-changing world. Globalization today is moving at its peak. And something that I've noticed is that in youth work and in advancements of technology, young people are leaving their culture. And it is rather imperative to understand that as we progress, it is difficult to move at a pace that we want if we do not remember where we are rooted and where we are coming from. So my appeal is that as we dive and delve more into this conversation, we find a way to balance advancements today and also just not to forget where we're coming from and our culture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anyone else? Okay, yeah. Kanika.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kanika from India. I represent the Varta Leap Coalition. I think one of the things that we find sort of fizzling out in India, and I'm sure it's happening globally, and that has a lot to do with technology. And so while we laud what technology does for us, it also does put us in echo chambers. It also does polarize us. And I think what we're losing then a little bit is sort of just, you know, the cross-border friendships, the connection, the intercultural exchanges that a country like India at least has always had because of the diversity. And so I really hope that we're able to protect that, because then, you know, the values of liberty, equality, justice, fraternity that have been the hallmarks of India's growth story can stay intact. Yeah, so that's what I hope for.
Thank you, Kanika. Thank you very much. We are here. We have more than 29 countries representing their countries. We have delegates, and all of you have your local wisdom, and here we are connecting with each other. So this is the best example. We are talking about this issue, And lastly, I would like to thank you, the prestigious panelists, and more importantly, I would like to have a big round of applause for volunteers of this conference, because they are tirelessly working for this conference, and that's why we are enjoying this beautiful conference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's give another round of applause to our moderator and also fellow speakers on stage. I request for the moderator and also speakers to remain on stage. So next up, I'd like to invite Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, co-chair of the 5th Global Youth Work Conference, to give away the token of appreciation. All right, so for the token of appreciation presentation, I'd like to invite Professor to present to the moderator and to all speakers. And after presenting, we will take a group photo. So Professor can continue giving to everyone. So first up, we have Datuk Seri Idris Harun, President of World Assembly of Youth. Thank you. Next up, we have Ms. Cynthia Marquez, Director, Education and Innovation of World Scouting. Followed by Lane Robinson, Head of Social Policy, the Commonwealth Secretariat. Leigh Middleton, CEO, National Youth Agency. Next up, Honorable Bakari Badji, Minister of Youth and Sports, The Gambia. And last but not least, our lovely moderator, Ms. Sabiha Shaheen. Can I request all speakers to step forward and also Ms. Moderator for a group photo? Thank you, Professor. Thank you to Ms. Moderator and also fellow speakers. Let's give another round of applause to the first session this morning. So I was also listening to everyone's point of view. So when it comes to technology and also preserving culture, I understand it can be a tug of war there. As young leaders, it is also our task to innovate boldly with technology without losing sight of the traditions, stories, and heritage that make us who we are. So I hope that the rest of you will be continuing this conversation and also ideas to the rest of the parallel sessions that we have throughout the day. So for today, we have done with the first plenary sessions, and then we're going to have the fire chat session later in Campo Hall. You are currently in Campo Hall, and later we have 3 parallel sessions that will be happening in few venues. If you don't have the schedule, please do get from the organizers team. So most sessions will take place over here, and right now we will take a short break. And we take a morning break right now, so refreshments are served at the banquet hall. So could I request all of you to be back here by 11:15 a.m. Back to Campo Hall. Hold on, let me hear a word from the organizer first before I continue with the instruction. Okay, so after the refreshment, come back to Campo Hall, this hall, and then later we will brief on the parallel sessions. Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant morning. We will see you again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please remember to return back to Campo Hall at 11:15 a.m. So you have about 10 to 15 minutes only, and we will see you here shortly. Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So please do check with the rest of your mates. So let's say they are still having their refreshment. Do ping them, send them a message, and come back to Campo Hall. So once we have most of you here, then we'll have a short briefing on what's going to happen throughout the day, and then we can break out to the rest of the sessions. All right, everyone. So I was informed that those of you who have the schedule, you may proceed to all the parallel sessions that's happening. So we have a total of 5 different venues. First is the Campo Hall, Cempaka, and Bunga Raya. So all these 3 venues is at Block A, and then followed by Room 4, Delima 1 and 2. That will be at Block B, is just right above the banquet hall. Okay, so let me just read out on the topics and also the presenters. For breakout room 1 at Campo Hall, the topic would be Youth Work in a Changing World, Political Youth, Political Participation, moderated by Dr. Jeffrey Lawrence. So we have 3 different presentations. The first one would be Lessons from Kenyan Gen Z Movement, How Participatory Decision Making would promote inclusion and participation in the digitally connected and fragile world. This is presented by Michael Asudi, Association of Professionals in Youth Affairs Kenya, followed by Local Wisdom for Global Impact, Redefining Youth Work in a Changing World, National Youth Wing Project Coordinator by Kazim Olanrawaju JAMU, Nigerian Red Cross Society. And lastly, the third topic would be Enhancing Youth Participation in the Commonwealth Asia region, a case study of the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance by Sushil Ram, both Madura, Advisor, Youth Development, Commonwealth Secretariat Chair, Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance. So this topic will happen at Campo Hall, which is this venue. Next up, for those of you that I'm going to read out the name, so please proceed to Cempaka. Cempaka is located at Block A, the second breakout room, under the topic of Youth Work in a Changing World, Political, moderated by Lane Robinson and Dr. Zatul Hima Adnan. The topics are Integrating Social Justice into Youth Worker Training by Gihon Mitchell, President Jamaica Youth Work Association. If you are here, please proceed to Cempaka. Next topic is Insights for Youth Work Practice from the Peer Leaders Initiative with particularly vulnerable tribal groups in Jharkhand by Rajesh Nandan Singh Meher, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, COO of Mutiny, the Youth Collective, and Varta Leap, New Delhi. If you are here, please proceed to Cempaka room. And the third topic would be Africa's position in post-neoliberal globalization, assessment of Nigeria's relationships with the Global South and Western Institution by Hassan Ibrahim Korede, Department of Public Administration, Lagos State University. So if the presenter is here for Cempaka, please proceed to the next room. For the third breakout room, the Bunga Raya is also in Block A, which is next to Campo Hall. The topic of youth work in a changing world, political inclusivity. Moderated by Jennifer Namgyal and Dr. Aini Azekah Ma'ruf. The topics are a youth-led model for minority rights and social cohesion in Pakistan by Ms. Shabiha Shaheen, Executive Director, Bargat. Reflecting on the Muslim Indigenous Connection Program and experiential learning framework for Muslim youth-led reconciliation by Imam Irshad Osman, fund development professional, community builder, and faith leader based in Toronto, Canada. The fourth topic would be developing local young women as leaders of change. I. Saksham's role in fostering belonging and inclusion in rural Bihar, India by Ravi Kumar Dhanuka, CEO, I. Saksham Education and Learning Foundation member, Bartalip Coalition. The next topic would be spanning the digital divide, empowering women with disabilities through inclusive AI for grassroots youth work, presented by Masowe Mutinta, educator, digital literacy and disabilities rights advocate and director, Mcover Solutions Zambia. And last topic for breakout room 3 would be Muslim Young People Matter, a case study of impactful faith-based youth projects in the UK by Sadiq Hamid, Senior Research Fellow at the University of Edinburgh. And the fourth room would be breakout room 4 at Delima 1 and 2 under the theme of Youth Work in a Changing World, Political Culture and Community, moderated by Dr. Terry N. Gilbert Robert and Dr. Wan Ikhlas Wan Mokhtar. The topics are It Takes a Village, Returning to the Village, a Restorative Future of Youth Work by Robin Lockhart, Founder, Director of Catalyst in Communities, CIC NGO UK, Board Member Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations. Second topic would be Mindset Change, an Imperative for Self and Social Transformation in Youth Work by Pooja Jain, Mutiny, the Youth Collective, and the Varta Leap Coalition. The third topic for Delima 1 and 2 room would be Rooted Empowerment, empowering young women through culturally grounded and innovative youth work in Zambia, presented by Noria Kamutumwa, Women of Impact Institute founder and University of Lusaka law student. The fourth topic would be Intercultural Understanding and Cultural Heritage among NEET Youth in Butaleja District, Uganda by KTC Prosi Patience, Senior Youth Officer, Department of Youth and Children, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Uganda. And the last topic for the fourth breakout room would be Youth Resource Centers as Community Anchors, Fostering Inclusion and Belonging in Zambia's Changing Socio-Economic Landscape by Mabel Binay Netziwe, Acting Director Youth. So for the first breakout room at Campo Hall under the theme of Youth Work in a Changing World, Political Youth, Political Participation. So do we have all the presenters here? All the presenters are here, and also the moderator, Dr. Jeffrey Lawrence, is present as well. All right. So can I invite Mr. Michael Asudi? Are you ready to present? Or if Mr. Michael is not here, Kazim Olan Rawaju Jamiu. All right, so we have the second presenter, and also for the third presenter, Sushil Ram, both Mathura. All right, so for room 1, the moderators will be 2 of them by Dr. Jeffrey and also Mr. Sushil Ram. And for the paper Enhancing Youth Participation in the Commonwealth Asia Region, a case study of the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance will be presented by Anika. All right? Yes, they can be seated. They can be seated. All right. So can I also invite the moderators to be on stage as well? So Mr. Sushil Ram and also Dr. Jeffrey Lawrence to be on stage? Can. So all fellow delegates who are seated in this hall, Feel free to make yourself to the front of the hall. So we want you to interact through the session. If you have any questions, you can raise the question. So we have two presenters here today. So if you have any slides, we have our team of volunteers to assist you on the side. So those who are seated at the back, please make your way. Come forward. Please come to the front. For those of you who are wondering where is Delima 1 and 2 located, it's located in Block B, where you had refreshment at the banquet hall. It's above the banquet hall in Block B, which is the next block the other side. So if you wish to participate in that breakout room 4, you may proceed to Block B. Delima 1 and 2 is located right above the banquet hall.
Yeah, hello.
All right, Mr. Moderator, I'll pass the floor to you.
Hello. Yes, can you hear? Yeah, can I request all the participants, if you can sort of come in front so that we can have a more kind of an engaging kind of a discussion?
We are supposed to project, but we didn't get the presentation on our machine, so we are now trying to compile it. Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I think, yes, good morning. I thought it's already after lunch. So my name is Sushil Ram, and I'm the advisor at the Commonwealth Secretariat, and I'll be moderating this session together with my colleague, Dr. Jeffrey, who is here next to me. I would ask my co-moderator to introduce himself, and then we'll move forward with the session.
Thank you very much, Sushil. My name is Jeffrey Lawrence. I'm attached to the Institute for Social Science Studies, University Putra, Malaysia. So I'm glad to be here today. We'll be moderating together for this session. Hopefully we can have a lively conversation between the speakers as well as the delegates who are present today. Because the whole idea today is for us to learn new things, okay? It is not so much about presenting with no much impart of knowledge. So we are hoping that there will be an engagement session between the speakers as well as the audience. So hopefully we can have a fruitful session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jeffrey. And again, welcome. And just to give you a brief idea about this session. So today's discussion focuses on youth political participation and how young people across the Commonwealth are reshaping civic life. And this was reflected in the papers that were supposed to be presented. How they are reshaping the civic life, how they are strengthening the community resilience, and they are redefining leadership in an increasingly digital and geopolitical complex world. So in this session, we had 4 thought-provoking papers that were supposed to be presented. Unfortunately, 2 presenters were not able to come, or else we would have 4 specific case studies. However, we got 2 presenters here, 2 papers that will be presented, 2 case studies that will be presented to you. But I'll give you an overview of what the original 4 papers were all about. So the session intended to bring together 4 thought-provoking papers that explores youth-led models indigenous knowledge system, and new forms of civic engagement emerging at the intersection of technology, culture, and political change. And together, these perspectives will show how local wisdom, political inclusion, and youth-driven action can reinforce democratic values and strengthen communities globally. And perhaps this is the discussion that we can have after the presentation of the papers. So in this session, we will begin with the individual presentation, which will be followed by a short kind of a moderated discussion, audience questions if there are any. And as Dr. Jeffrey mentioned, we want to have more kind of an interactive dialogue and discussion with all the participants on the topic, political participation, and kind of connecting how youth work can reinforce or facilitate that process of more active engagement and participation of young people in the political process. So that is the kind of a crux of this session, and I hope that we will have a kind of an interactive discussion after the presentation of the papers. So without much further ado, I would like to invite Kazim to present his paper. So Kazim Jamui is a National Youth Wing Project Coordinator at the Nigerian Red Cross Society. His work explores how youth in Nigeria are blending indigenous practices with global connectivity to address complex socio-environmental challenges, from humanitarian response to climate action, digital mobilization, and cultural preservation. His paper argues for youth engagement approaches that are locally rooted yet globally responsible. So Kazim, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kazim Olanrewaju Jamiu. I'm from Nigeria. It might interest you to know that we are over 200 million in Nigeria. And the Nigerian Red Cross happens to be the biggest humanitarian organization with over 800,000 volunteers across the 37 states and 774 local governments in Nigeria. My paper, Youth Work in a Changing World, Sustaining Local Wisdom for Global Connectivity. Well, youth work must balance rapid global change with local traditions. Nigeria is, of course, very vast, and over 70% of the populations are youth under 35 years. And according to UNDP, we have a high rate of youth volunteering in various activities across Nigeria. So my paper is going to explore the various things that you have highlighted earlier. So in terms of humanitarian response, Nigerian Red Cross is an humanitarian organization, the biggest, and with the large network of volunteers, we are able to address critical issues that happens within the country, especially in terms of disaster management. Now, utilizing local wisdom, because everybody has to be carried along. How do you carry the local communities along? We have our youth working in various communities, organizing first aid on the street, mobilizing people to do voluntary blood drive. And of course, we also look at psychosocial support, sexual exploitation, abuse, things that affect the grassroots. And we have volunteers working across this sector, making sure that every voice counts. We also have a team of political engagement as part of supporting you.
Sorry, are you using the PowerPoint?
Yes, I think I'm a bit fast. Oh, I didn't see. So,
no, you have a PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Why, I suggest you
Okay,
come over here
let me come over
and make
here,
sure
so.
you have a look at it, and please change the slides as per his instruction here.
So thank you very much. So I start again. So youth work in a changing world, sustaining local wisdom for global connectivity. Youth work in Nigeria must balance rapid global change with strong local traditions. With 70% of the population under 35, empowering young people means helping them apply indigenous knowledge to modern issues like climate change, public health, and when youth participate in decision making, they contribute energy and new ideas. Reflected in high rates of youth volunteering, about 43.8% of Nigerian youth actually volunteers in different endeavors. This presentation shows the Nigerian Red Cross Society Youth Wing and the efforts that we put into practice through 7 areas of work: humanitarian response, political engagement, innovation, inclusion, health, climate action, and cultural preservation. Next slide, please. This presentation draws data from program data, evaluations, youth testimonials, and field observation from over 25 states. It used a thematic approach to showcase NRCS youth intervention and how they align with IFRC strategy, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent, Strategy 2030, and the SDG 3, 5, 8, 13, and 16. The analysis is grounded in participatory, youth-led assessments and focus group discussions that help measure impact and innovation across the state. Thank you. So like I mentioned earlier, humanitarian response is a core aspect of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, and we utilize our volunteers, like you can see, the first aid on the street, to support people across board, not just the educated client, but those that need the local context, market women, youth across the street, and so on. Please, next slide. Political engagement. Nigerian youth play an increasingly important role in civic and political life, with many already active in volunteering and community service. We harness our youth energetic behavior through our political engagement. The Nigerian Red Cross also collaborates with the National Youth Council of Nigeria and other youth agencies across Nigeria to support in terms of political endeavors, ensuring that the voices of youths are implemented in various policies across board. Next slide. Innovation and technology. The Nigerian Red Cross youth are connecting local challenges to global solutions through innovations and technology. Many have participated in the IFRC Limitless Youth Innovation Academy. This is the Academy of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent. And I would talk about 2 who stand out. 2 Nigerians who are making drive. Iko Joshua developed a real-time water monitoring system using IoT and AI to tackle water scarcity and contamination. And Nandom Ipak, they created affordable, locally produced biogas digester to empower rural women with clean cooking energy. This, to mention a few, are Nigerian youth, Red Cross volunteers, making thrive, creating solutions for global challenges. Next slide. In terms of inclusion, no one must be left behind. Inclusion is woven into every youth program. The NRCS explicitly aligns with the IFRC strategy to promote inclusion, participation, diversity, and opportunities, representation across all levels in terms of decision making. So this is also a commitment from the Nigerian Red Cross to allow every voice to count. Either you're vulnerable, either you are the minority group, either you are with disability, and so on. This is a strong drive to ensure that everybody is carried along. Next. In terms of health and well-being, youth-led programs play a vital role in promoting community well-being by combining local understanding with medical expertise. Initiatives such as blood drives with the NYC volunteers. The NYC is a National Youth Service Corps of the nation. For every graduate in Nigeria, you must go through this process. And this is one of the biggest producer of graduates across the country, because once you graduate from your university, you are expected to go through the youth service corps. It means that a lot of youth coming out from the university also need experience. We use this opportunity to catch them. If you are not able to go through politics while you are in the university, at this process or at this stage, you are able to engage in community service, blood drives, first aid on the street, other community engagement that helps community around you. Next. In terms of climate action, we focus on 3 themes: climate education and preparedness, flood preparedness, environmental cleanup campaigns. These are initiatives that are led by the youth. In terms of climate education and preparedness, we have the Y-Adapt Toolkit. The Y-Adapt Toolkit is an IFRC curriculum that teaches young people, youth across board, on issues of climate change, tree planting, and small climate initiatives that can be carried out at little or no cost. We are currently implementing in 3 states in Nigeria: Gombe, Bauchi, Nasarawa. And as part of the activities, we are establishing climate clubs within the schools and communities in those areas. Our focus is on flood preparedness and climate change impact. In respect to flood preparedness, in Port Harcourt, we have a flood preparedness drill. Tools used are inflatable tubes, life jackets, and it's followed up by a town hall meeting where we talk about community early warning system. Now, in terms of community early warning system, it is important that we recognize that the community are experts in their own situations. Most times they have the solution, but they don't have the resources. So this is a process of encouraging the community to utilize local knowledge to solve global issues. And in terms of environmental cleanup, in total, we've planted over 20,000 trees and cleared over 2.5 tons of waste across board in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos and Cross River, which are riverine states or coastal states in Nigeria. Next. Also, as part of the climate action, we have various activities that cut across tree planting, beach cleanup, sanitation, and so on. Next. Cultural heritage provides a powerful platform for youth engagement. Through the UNESCO World Heritage Volunteer Initiative, which has involved thousands of young people around the world, the Nigerian Red Cross has become a major stakeholder, partnering with organizations like AFIDIF, where volunteers come out from across the country to do cultural heritage preservation. Currently, we have gone to Adamawa in Nigeria, we have gone to Kano, we have gone to Taraba, the Gashaka Gumti National Park. These are cultural heritage sites in Nigeria, and this work are being done by youth of Nigeria. Next. So lessons and best practices. In summary, embedded local knowledge. Youth programs should continually engage leaders, elders, and community leaders, ensuring initiatives respect cultural norms and use indigenous problem-solving methods. Decision makers must include young people at every level, like my question earlier today. At what point do we involve the youth? In planning, implementation, and evaluation of policy. The policies are about the youth, so they should be involved in every stage of the policy, leveraging their enthusiasm and fresh perspectives. Support innovation. Global initiatives like the IFRC Limited Academy, UNESCO Heritage Camps, the KAYA and other youth agencies are most effective when adapted to local context. Providing funding, mentorship, and digital tools help Nigerian youth, not just Nigerian youth, but youth across the world, to scale up their own ideas. Promote equity by institutionalizing inclusion for women, persons with disabilities, and minority groups. Lastly, invest in sustainability by linking youth action to green jobs, ecosystem restoration, and climate resilience strategies. In conclusion, Nigerian youth are redefining what it means to lead in a changing world, connecting traditional practices to global innovation. Their work not only strengthens community resilience, but also fosters a globally relevant, youth-centered development agenda. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Kasim. Excellent paper, which sort of highlighted some of the mechanisms that Red Cross uses to engage young people. And of course, the areas that you covered ranged from humanitarian response, climate change, health, also the cultural issues in there. But what I thought was interesting about his presentation was, of course, you re-emphasize the importance of youth participation in policy making. I think the inclusion element that you mentioned was really very good. But I think the crucial part that I actually thought was of a lot of relevance to youth workers is the issue around how youth workers need to utilize modern digital technology to enhance the work that they do, particularly in terms of engagement of young people and fostering or facilitating their participation. So in this day and age of digital transformation, I think that element in youth work is crucial. Unless and until youth workers respond to this new digital age that young people are in, it will ensure that youth work's relevance remains and that you are also more impactful, more relevant in the work that you are doing as youth workers, the important work that you do as youth workers. So thank you very much. I know there may be a number of questions there, but we will have both the presenters present, and then we'll open the floor for question. And then later on, I'll also invite some government representative on the stage to sort of make some concluding remarks around this political participation issue and youth workers. So I'll now invite the second speaker, Hanika. Hanika is the coordinator of SAIPAN, the Commonwealth Youth Peace Ambassadors Network, one of the Commonwealth Youth Network, which tries to provide a platform for young people, particularly young people who are passionate about peace building. She'll be presenting on a paper that sort of examines the persistent gaps in youth participation in policy making across Asia, where structural barriers limit young people's engagement despite their demographic significance. She will be presenting the case study of Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance, where she will highlight the regional strategies for institutionalizing youth leadership and creating more inclusive policy-making framework. So Hanika, the floor is yours. You can come up to the lectern if you wish to.
All right. While Ms. Hanika, okay, my apologies. Excuse me, Mr. Moderator. I was just given a notification by the Honorable Balam Barugahara Atenyi, Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Uganda. He also would like to participate this session. Could I also invite him to the stage, please? So after Ms. Hanika has presented, then he can also share his viewpoints. All right, over to you, Ms. Hanika. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to distinguished delegates, moderators, youth workers, and colleagues. I think I can safely say good morning since we have 10 minutes left for good afternoon. My name is Hanika Rahil, and today I have the privilege of presenting on behalf of Bodh Mathura, Chair of Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance. Although he's unable to attend today, I'm honored to represent the work of Kaya, a mechanism that has become central to strengthening youth participation across Commonwealth Asia region. This session, Youth Work in a Changing World, Youth Political Participation, speaks directly to the realities we are navigating today. A world where digital disruption, democratic fragility, and social transformation are reshaping how young population in the Commonwealth, yet meaningful participation in government remains uneven and often minimal. The presentation I share today is not only a reflection of Kaya's institutional journey, but also a demonstration of what becomes possible when structures are created for young people to move from symbolic inclusion to actual influence. So if you see slide 1, so basically today's presentation is titled Enhancing Youth Participation in Commonwealth Asia Region, a case study of the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance, authored by Sushil Ram and Bodh Mathura. Next slide, please. If you look at the question why youth participation matters, if you just take a look at the demographic itself, you would understand Asia is home to 1.6 billion young people, representing 60% of the Commonwealth population. Yet, despite this demographic strength, youth participation in policy making remains inconsistent and sporadic across many Asian countries. The UN has described youth as being almost invisible in public policy making, and UNESCAP warns that political and cultural institutions too often exclude young people, which increases the risk of social unrest. Next slide, please. So when you look at the Commonwealth mandate itself, in 2023, during 10th Commonwealth Youth Ministers meeting, governments recognized this gap, and even though the Youth Development Index shows strong progress in health and education, with Malaysia, Brunei, and Sri Lanka now among the top 10, youth governance participation remains the weakest pillar. Next slide, please. Like I mentioned before, in 2023, during the 10th Commonwealth Youth Ministers meeting, governments recognized this gap and recommended the creation of Kaya. So this platform is to strengthen participation and leadership and cross-cultural collaboration for youth. If you look at the global alignment itself, it fills a structural gap and aligns with the UN Pact for the Future commitment to strengthen meaningful youth participation. Next slide, please. In the establishment of Kaya, if you look at the structure, in response to the mandate, the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance was launched in 2024 in Kuala Lumpur, the very same place you are here today. Kaya brings together the national youth councils or equivalent bodies of the 8 Commonwealth Asia member states, which is Bangladesh, Brunei, India, Maldives, Malaysia, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka and Singapore. Next slide, please. So if you look at the priorities under the 4 pillars, why is Kaya unique? So you might have this question. Kaya is unique because Kaya fills a structural gap in the Commonwealth, while regions like Africa and the Caribbean have robust youth cooperation mechanisms. And also, if you look at Asia, despite having the largest youth population, it had no formalized system. Kaya changes that by creating a unified regional voice and strengthening institutional foundations of national youth governance. Next slide, please. Strengthening the foundations of youth governance. Youth as assets, not problems. Kaya's approach is grounded in shifting the narrative from young people as a deficit to young people as assets. It applies the capabilities approach, which emphasizes expanding young people's real freedom And also, if you look at the case study, the first Pakistan NYC establishment, Kaya welcomed Pakistan's Prime Minister's National Youth Council, 113 members. This new NYC was formally established at the Kaya Summit in Islamabad in January 2025. Kaya's executives have also provided direct guidance to the new members on developing a transparent governance structure and an actionable plan. Next slide, please. If you look at the case study number 2, Climate Governance NDC 3.0, Kaya led or contributed to youth engagement in climate policy across the region. In Sri Lanka, the NDC Youth Sounding Board engagement. In Sri Lanka, around 15 technical working groups resulting in youth appearing 46 times in NDC 3.0 compared to just 2 mentions previously. In Pakistan, a dedicated youth section was introduced for the first time. Next slide, please. If you look at the capacity building through Kaya Advocacy Fellowship, to address capacity gaps in political engagement, Kaya launched the Advocacy Fellowship in partnership with Commonwealth Youth Program, UNICEF, UNDP, and others. So the impact so far has been magnificent. Around 1,000 plus applications, 157 fellows selected, 63 movers workshops across Asia, 2,500 plus young people trained, and 35 youth trained as national advocacy trainers. So if you look at what Kaya teaches us, 3 lessons emerge. Institutionalization works, youth participation becomes inconsistent, and it becomes actually consistent when embedded in governance structures. Youth mainstreaming transforms policy. Youth influence becomes part of the policy making when they are given the right ecosystem. Regional cooperation accelerates national progress. Countries strengthen each other. Next slide, please. Way forward, finally. So the recommendations would be, we recommend strengthening national youth councils, embedding youth participation across all nations, across all ministries, investing in regional cooperation, formalizing participation standards, building capacity for youth advocacy and governance. In conclusion, Kaya demonstrates what becomes possible when youth are engaged through structured representation and accountable mechanisms. It is an evolving but powerful model for youth governance in Asia and across Commonwealth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hanika. I think the paper does highlight the importance and the need to have youth engagement platforms and mechanisms at all levels, whether it be at a local community level or a national level, a regional and global. What Hanika sort of emphasized was the importance of having a regional platforms, which provides that space, that mechanisms through which young people can engage at a regional level and global, but also how regional platforms can support national institutions and mechanisms for strengthened youth participation. So thank you, Hanika, for that. I will now invite the Honorable Minister from Uganda to present his paper. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, moderator. Youth work in a changing world, political participation. So for us in Uganda, how it is working or how it is doing, it's a very nice question. Uganda has a mixed and evolving picture when it comes to youth political participation. And here is an analysis of how Uganda is doing youth work in political sphere, along some key strengths, challenges, and some recent efforts that have been put in place by His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Uganda is engaging the youth politically through the multi-party youth dialogue and leadership development. We are glad and happy that our friends, the Netherlands Institute of Multi-Party Democracy, support Multi-Party Youth Forum in Uganda. This brings together youth from different political parties to dialogue, build trust, and push for peaceful cross-party participation. The Netherlands Institute also runs Uganda Democracy Academy Fellowship, which also trains youth leaders from more than seven political parties, building their political knowledge, leadership, and capacity to contribute substantively to the policy. The intergenerational dialogues are organized where youth meet established politicians, decision makers. This set of build networks and reduce polarization and provide real influence opportunities. Secondly, institutional youth representation. The Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Youth Affairs is a formal mechanism in Parliament that brings together young MPs, youth representatives, and MPs who care about youth issues. According to the State of the Youth Report 2023, Uganda's National Youth Council had over 750,000 elective youth positions in 2020-2021 election. Recently, we concluded the National Youth Council elections. We maintained the number to 752,000, those who are elected structurally from the village up to the national level. Then number 3 is the Political Empowerment Initiative. Interparty Organization for Dialogue, IPOD, runs political empowerment program specifically for youth. They offer leadership training, civic education, mentorship, and platform for political participation. The International Republican Institute, IRI, has supported the Interparty Youth Platform, which brings together youth leagues from political parties to advocate for youth inclusion in party structures and decision making. The Frederick Albert Stephen, with the German NGO, has a young leadership forum that builds capacity in areas such as democratic governance, human rights, public budgeting, and conflict resolution. Then number 4 is peace building and election-related engagement. Ahead of the election, for example, in 2026 election, youth leaders have been encouraged to shun violence and play a constructive role. MIF has organized regional youth dialogue to promote peaceful electoral participation, planning peace campaign across the country. However, we are faced with a few challenges as we address political participation, and some of the challenges we have in Uganda are commercialization of politics. There is evidence that political campaigns are very expensive, which disadvantage many of our young politicians. A study stated by the Daily Monitor found that candidates' costs are extremely high, making it hard for youth to run for office. Because of these cost barriers, youth representation remained relatively low. For example, only a small fraction of MPs are under 35, despite youth being a large part of the population in Uganda. Then the other one is tokenization and uncontested youth position. According to the State of Youth Report, a significant number of youth elective position, for example, Youth Council, go uncontested, which may indicate weak competition or low engagement in some of those roles. In some areas, youth political involvement is criticized as superficial, just for show, rather than deeply influential in policy making. For instance, some youth feel that despite structural real power and resources remain controlled by the older generation. Then the other challenge is limited government support and resource allocation. According to report by International Alert, many youth believe government does not allocate enough resource for youth political participation. Although youth structure exists, the effectiveness is sometimes undermined by limited funding and weak institutional support. Then the other point 4 is the risk around dissent and freedom of expression. There are concerns around expression of people with divergent views. For example, the cost and regulation of political activism, limitation on protests remain real concern. So digital engagement is also complicated by restriction. Facebook has been off for some time. So we are trying to do what we can as government to address the missing gaps, to ensure that our young people are given a chance to strive, to participate politically, to ensure that the changing world doesn't leave them behind. So with those few highlights, in a conclusion, Uganda is doing a lot to engage young people politically through formal structures, dialogues, trainings, and inter-party initiative. But serious challenges remain, particularly around financing, rural influence, and sustainable youth commitment beyond just campaign circles. Whether this effort will lead to deep systematic change depends on whether youth structure translates to real power, policy, influence, resource control, not just symbolic electoral participation. I think allow me submit to give others an opportunity, but that's what we are trying to do in Uganda, and we are doing much to allow our young people to participate politically in youth work in a changing world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. It was an interesting kind of a perspective here. We had from an international organization, the Red Cross, the mechanisms that they have in terms of engaging and sort of facilitating greater engagement and participation of young people across a number of areas. We had the intervention about the regional platform and how it can facilitate and strengthen youth participation, political participation in particular, and the classic example of Uganda, how at a national level, Uganda has a number of initiatives as well as mechanisms through which they ensure greater engagement and participation of people, of young people, political participation in particular. And we always use Uganda as a case study. The young parliamentarians is one of those case studies that Commonwealth always uses to highlight how institutions, governments can ensure that young people are adequately represented at the highest decision-making level, where they can be advocates on behalf of young people. So congratulations on that, Minister, and thank you very much for your presentation. I will now hand over to my fellow moderator for his intervention, but also to moderate a few question and answer session with the audience.
Okay, thank you very much. So now we have come to the second part of having the Q&A. But prior to that, probably we have learned a few new things. First of all, we know that I have particularly learned that we know that we require structured youth networks with regional cooperation. So this is important, that we have to ensure that we should enhance on regional cooperation between the different countries so that we will be able to come out with ideas so that youth will be able to be supported with platforms, trainings, and recognition for them to showcase their talents and so forth. Because what we have seen, like one of the presenters have mentioned, that in terms of policy making, youth currently remains almost invisible. So this is quite a statement that we need to actually address. How can actually our youths be able to play a more proactive role in ensuring that they are among the pillars in making decisions? For example, in the Malaysian context, I would like to share in the Malaysian context, youths, we allow people, individuals who are 18 and above to cast their votes. Okay, to cast their votes for an election, 18 and above. So that is already the element of empowerment. Okay, we can see that youths will one day play a pivotal role in ensuring that they are among the people who will be involved in policy making. So probably I would like to start off the Q&A session. First of all, we know that currently we are bombarded with so much information on the social media. I would like to ask probably one of the speakers here, how could youth workers play a major role in ensuring that our youths are able to distinguish the right and the wrong messages that appear in social media? Any one of you would like to help me answer this question?
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. One thing I think about information management is that we need to think of giving youth the platform or putting in place processes that allows you to get information, the quality information. So what are the kind of processes you put in place? Every youth cannot be a policymaker, but every youth can be a change maker. So you give them a platform where they can exhibit skills. Now, in your various organizations, what are the communication channels? What are the kind of opportunities available for youth to participate in? So these are the little ways. Information is power. Whatever information you have access to is how far you can go in life. So giving the youth the platform, access to the information through our various organizations is the best way to go. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot. I also have another question. During the talk just now, we heard that we were told that youths should engage with elders, community leaders, to ensure that the programs that they will do will be successful. But currently we see that scenario does not happen. It is quite difficult. It is quite because of probably the generational gap that we are facing now. While the suggestion proposed is youths should be encouraged to work closely with elders, closely with community leaders to ensure the success of program. So probably one of you all could share how would this mechanism work, while we know that in the current scenario, especially with the younger generation, they will find it very difficult to tango with the senior people. Any idea from you all?
That came from my presentation, actually. And one thing we are doing as an organization, there's something called community engagement and accountability. And it has 4 major itineraries. The first is participation and feedback. Now, when you look at whoever you are engaging, the first thing is to participate. Ensure they are part of what process you are trying to build. It means that you have to go to them, you have to ask them questions, and you need to get feedback regarding whatever you want to do. You want to also ensure you're giving information as aid. To community leaders, they are interested in whatever you're doing, but they think of how does it benefit us as a people or as an individual. So you need to tell them details of what they expect or what they are going to get. And you ought to also ensure social and behavioral change and evidence-based advocacy, meaning that in terms of your engagement, you are showing it by what you do, not by what you say. So you say, okay, we are promoting sanitation, for example, and you are not showing them what cleaning their environment looks like, or you are not encouraging them to do cleaning of the environment. So you have to engage, see them as experts in their own situation. As leaders, as elders, they have experiences that will be useful for youth. So they might not share those experiences if you don't come to them, or if you don't come to their level or recognize that they actually have the experience. So it also reminds us as youth that you are not an island of knowledge. There's always room for growth, and the more you ask questions, the better you know. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Kazim. Probably I have a question for our Honorable Minister. How can we actually, can you propose some strategies whereby we can encourage our youths to participate actively in politics? Especially in the Malaysian context, we see that the youths are not so much inclined into politics. Probably you could share some of the best practices.
Just like I said, in Uganda, we have allowed young people and we have put in place structures to allow young people participate in politics. Like I said, we have the National Youth Council, which has now 726,000 elected positions, which have been filled by young people. Then in the mainstream politics, young people would love and participate in politics. But due to the commercialization of politics in most of African countries, where there is no limit of how much someone is using for campaign, the rich suppress the young people by pouring a lot of money in elective positions, especially in the mainstream parliamentary elections. Because of the too much money, the young people who don't have much end up becoming vulnerable to defeat. Unlike in the UK and the US and Germany, where politicians have a cap of how much they are supposed to spend. We don't have yet a cap in most of the Commonwealth nations that a person standing for elective position should not spend more than 500,000. So there is no audit of how much someone spends, puts in an election. So that has affected our young people participation in elective positions, in elective politics. So my appeal to all of you members of Commonwealth, let's sit together and probably copy the best political practices elsewhere in the more developed countries, how they limit how much someone should spend in politics. Unless that is done, then the old guards, the same old guards, the same wealthy people will overrun the young people. When I look at the average of our parliament, apart from the directly elected members of parliament who are youth MPs, who are regional MPs, who total to about 8 in Uganda, the rest of the other positions, many of the people winning those positions, there are few people below 35, so making it hard. But our government has encouraged the young people. Now we have 4 young members of parliament below 35 who are now members of cabinet. They are in the cabinet of Uganda. They are below 35. One of them is the Minister of Natural Resources, Fiona Nyamutoro, Honorable Fiona Nyamutoro. Another one is Liliana Abe, and some other one. They are about 4 who are below 35. So His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is trying to do much, but it is a journey, it's a political journey. The transformation is evolving, we're evolving. We used not to have that nice politics where campaigns are conducted and there is no chaos during the election. For the first time, I think you are following our elections now in Uganda. We have not had any chaos since the campaign started. We are just 30 days away, a few days away, 45 days to the election. For the first time, we have not had people fighting on the street, an opposition leader being stopped from campaigning. People are campaigning. So we are opening up political space in Uganda to allow young people. But the challenge now remains, the biggest hurdle is they do not have money to compete with people with money like him. These people with minds, that's where the challenge is. Once we don't address this challenge of limiting how much these rich people put, how much they put in an election, then we are in trouble. That friend of mine from Kenya will tell you, he can't afford billboards in Nairobi. So he can't stand in Nairobi County. Because Nairobi County, they need billboards. Even as you are going to the toilet, there's a billboard of a politician. So how the cost of a billboard, he can't handle. He cannot handle. He knows properly well buying a ticket in ODM. You need money to pay for a ticket in ODM. Not small money. Because they wait which county. Okay, this is a seat. It is Kampala Central. It's a competitive seat. Anyone can win it easily. So who puts more money is given the flag for the most popular party in a given constituency. So once we resolve those issues of money, how money is used in politics, young people will be given a chance. Because you don't expect a young person who has never worked, or who has just started work, to compete with someone who has been working, someone who has been selling kerosene, someone who has been trading. It becomes really a problem. That is why I choose not to stand for politics. And I was appointed on merit. I'm not standing, because if I'm to stand, then no one will limit the money I use, because I will have enough to defeat anyone who stands against me.
Okay, thank you very much to our Honorable Minister. Probably now I would like to open the floor for some questions. where you can ask the panel if you have any queries pertaining to our topic today. Yeah, please.
Do you have a mic that you can please pass on? Do you have a mic? We can give you this, then you can run yellow. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Moderator, my name is Bongan Masugo. I come from Eswatini. I would like to ask one question. Thank you for the presentations that we've got this morning. I would like to ask one question, particularly from Kazim. You're working with young people. We are working with young people, but in your case, you're working with young people as volunteers, and they take the front line, even in risky situations. You know, they are responding to disasters, they are responding to war zones and stuff like that. How are they protected? How do you protect them? Because I think as youth workers, we should make sure that the young people who are working with, they are safe. They work in safe spaces. How are they protected? How are they made safe? Or in short, thank you.
Thank you very much. So in response to your question, thank you very much for your question. The Red Cross, first of all, when you engage a volunteer, the first thing you need to do is to train them. There's something called the Safer Access Training. Now, the Safer Access Training is expected to put you through a series of scenarios when you are responding to emergencies, especially in conflict zones. Then we have a strong network of intelligence. We work with other security agencies across the country. Now, it is good to know that the Red Cross emblem is a sign of protection. So anywhere you see the Red Cross emblem, most of the armed organizations, let me put it that way, they recognize the Red Cross. So we don't jeopardize our neutrality status, because in terms of conflict, the Red Cross logo or the Red Cross or Red Crescent logo or emblem is the only emblem you'll find in terms of conflict, saving people, rescuing people. So we communicate these ideas even to those of concern taking part in conflict, and especially our volunteers. The first thing you should know is, at what point did you stop? Where is your limit? What are the things you should know? So you update your line manager for every step you take. This is where I'm going. So there's always advisory on every step you take. If there's going to be a challenge, you would already know before you get there. So it's either you're told to go back, but in most scenarios, the logo or the emblem gives access and is a sign of protection as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, one more question, Dr. Jeff, can I?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning. I'm Ismi Arif from Ismail from Malaysia. I have a question for Hanika. Talking about youth political participation, in Malaysia in particular, we try to get our youth to be, more interested in terms of political socialization, but to look at political socialization in the form of democracy, nation building, and civic engagement, rather than purely about, winning elections and whatnot. If you can share your experience and advice, how can we propagate this to our youth to see political participation as more for civic engagement, nation building, and democracy, rather than taking them into being nations and winning election? Thank you.
Thank you for that question, actually, because when you look at Kaya particularly, it is the only mandated organization which is mandated by the government itself to work together with the NYCs and the ministries, right? So answering your question, all youths sometimes or might not actually enter politics formally, but they can engage themselves politically by advocating for issues which actually matter to them. So in the recent times that, when you look at Sri Lanka or in Pakistan, particularly through Kaya, that, there were 46 times at NDCs in Sri Lanka that youth were, presenting to advocate for these issues. So similarly, you can always make sure that youth are given the platforms to voice out their opinions with regards to the issues which are relevant to current times, let it be climate, politics, or any other socially related issues. As long as they are given what they are passionate about, they can advocate and have a voice and opinion for themselves without being a part of a party or ideally somebody who doesn't want to actively be a part of a political party, right? That is one option to look at it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Provismi and Ms. Anika. So there's one more question.
If possible.
One last question.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Jorge Salas from World Scouting, and I acknowledge everything that you said. It's very important. I found that you have exposed very well the structural changes that are needed to do in the government's organizations in order to make this possible. But I want to shift the focus again to the youth workers, because I think the conference is regarding this. And I want to ask which specific actions your organizations or government are doing to empower, to develop the capacities of your youth workers in whatever capacity, volunteers or professionals that you have, in order that they can involve all these young people they touch to be part of the political development of the country or the organization. An open question to anyone who wants to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the question. Still, I will now relate to Uganda again. How our government what it's trying to do to enable our young people work and participate in work, living alone, participate in politics. In Uganda, we have. Let me give me a minute. In Uganda, we have Youth Connect initiative, where youth platforms are formed in partnership and support of UNDP to link youth with economic opportunities, innovation, and policy space. This has helped our young people to access mentorship, training, partnerships in the public, private, and civil society, combining local youth energy with global frameworks. Then secondly, in relation to the same question, we are providing skills training and vocational education, the non-formal education, and the livelihood skills training programs that train the marginalized youth in trades, for instance, tailoring, carpentry, welding, and life skills, using local artisans as trainees, people with those skills who are not even educated, but they have the knowledge about given things. So they are training these young people. This is a powerful way how we have preserved the traditional crafts and trades while providing youth with marketable, employable skills. Then 3, we are doing sustainable agriculture and the green livelihoods. Through AFRAD Uganda Youth Empowerment Program, youth are taught ecological farming, permaculture, and sustainable land use planning. This preserves the traditional agricultural wisdom, for instance, permaculture, sustainable land practices, and links with modern entrepreneurship and green economy goals. Then number 4, culture and creative arts. The Maisha Film Lab in Uganda, which was funded by the European Union, trains filmmakers in screenwriting, directing, cinematography, and more. This nurtures cultural storytelling amplifying local narratives to both national and international audiences. Then number 5, Youth UN Joint Program. We received $22 million from United Nations different agencies, 13 UN agencies, to support our young people with economic participation in civic engagement, also with adolescents behavior change programs. So this aligns with the development with the global goals like the SDGs, while rotating efforts in local priorities. Then finally, digital and technical empowerment. The Uganda Kingdom, one of the cultural institutions in Uganda, is actively pushing for youth to develop AI and digital skills. This also has been extended to Bunyoro Kingdom. This is a great example of bleeding cultural heritage, the kingdoms. Like in Malaysia, you have kingdoms. In the UK, we have kingdoms. The kingdom with cutting edge to global tech. So we're also doing community-based youth leadership. Organizations like Open Minds Youth Club provide youth with leadership training, community service opportunities, and capacity building, helping them grow while remaining connected to the communities. Then we also have arts in refugee settlement. As you could be aware, in Uganda, we have the largest refugee settlements, biggest number of refugees now living in Uganda from Congo and South Sudan. We have the Bidibidi camp, we have a couple of Isingiro camp, we have a couple of camps where we're looking after that. So in refugee communities like Bidibidi, art centers give young people cultural platform for healing, expression, and social cohesion. This helps preserve the cultural tradition even in displacement and links youth to global conversation around migration, peace, and identity. Then finally, youth recognition role models. We are giving young people, for instance, I told you before, I'm not a politician, but I'm a minister. So before I became a minister, I've been doing business. And when I did business, I wasn't born to a noble family. I wasn't born to a ruling family. I was born to a peasant family. But I've made it all the way through business. So how have I done it? Is how I'm modeling others. I'm telling them, you don't have to look for a government job. Not even the United States of America can provide its people with more jobs. The jobs are in private sector. So how do we do it? So those are some of the roles we should do it. So government of Uganda, for instance, we are only employing 470,000 people as government. The rest come from private sector. Agriculture, trade, mining, art industry, the musicians, the filmmakers, different people are coming up. So we are doing that. The Young Achievers Award recognizes young Ugandans excelling in ICT, arts, entrepreneurship, and more. So those are some of the things. However, we face challenges to have all this. And we have some of the consideration, like fragmentation. Research shows youth empowerment programs in Uganda are effective, but often poorly coordinated. This is not only in Uganda, it is in Gambia, it is in Kenya, it is everywhere. And why are they poorly coordinated? You have a good program, but you don't have resources to fund the program. We have very good ideas, but we don't have resources. So you end up fragmenting, having poor coordination to achieve programs that can make young people shine or thrive. Then we have cultural documentation. Some youth feel Uganda risk losing parts of its living culture because traditions aren't always documented or passed on effectively. Then resource envelope or constraint. While many programs are ambitious, scaling them sustainably, especially in rural areas, has remained a challenge. So those are some of the way how we are trying to do it and how we can do it. I believe when we brainstorm, keep brainstorming together, we can bridge gaps and make our young people benefit from whatever you bring up.
Okay, thank you very much to our Honorable Minister. So with this, we have come to the end of our session. Sorry, we have already running out of time. So once again, thank you to our presenters, to my co-moderator, to the rapporteurs, and to all the assistants, as well as all the delegates who had participated in this session. So can we have a round of applause to our presenters? So I would like to pass the session back to our chairperson.
All right, thank you, moderator Mr. Sushil Ram and also Dr. Jeffrey Lawrence. Let's give another round of applause. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and then thank you to all three speakers today. Next up, I'd like to invite both of the moderators to give away token of appreciation and certificate of participation to all our three speakers for the day. First up, Mr. Kazim from Nigerian Red Cross Society. Next up, Honorable Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Uganda. So second, we have Ms. Hanika. Thank you. And last but not least would be the Honorable Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Uganda. All right, could I request for everybody to remain on stage for a group photo? Both moderators and all three speakers come forward a little for a group photo. Okay, thank you to both moderators and also our three excellent speakers for today's session. Let's give another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now it's time for lunch. So all of you please make your way to the banquet hall. And for the next session, we have the fireside chat that will happen at 1:30 p.m. at Campo Hall at the same venue right here. So after your lunch, please bring all of your mates back to this main hall and we can join the fireside chat later. So you have about 45 minutes for the lunch break. We will see you shortly. Thank you, everyone.